3.3 multiplying by matrices. So let's do a quick review. When you're able to add or subtract, when you add or subtract back from 3.5, the dimensions had to be equal. Okay, so you could take a 2 by 2 and you can add it to a 2 by 2. And then you could figure out what, by adding the elements that are in the same position, that would get you the answer. With multiplication, it's a little bit different. So multiplication, you need to write down the matrix, the dimensions of the matrix. So you'll see right here, we're going to take matrix A, which is M by R, and we're going to take matrix B, which is R by T. Now, as long as these middle numbers, they'll be numbers for us, are equal, you can multiply them. So you can multiply because those middle numbers are equal. Then what's cool about matrices is the first number, the row of the first matrix, and the column of your second matrix, which is M and T in this case, that's what makes up the dimension of your answer. So it's really cool, and you'll see this more when we start multiplying. So let's look at 1A. Can you multiply a 4 by 6 times a 6 by 2? So these two middle numbers have to be equal. So since they're equal, yes, you can multiply these. And we'll even take it a step further. Then they'll ask you, what would be the dimensions of your answer? So the dimensions of the answer would be a 4 by 2. Okay, let's look at 1B. Could you multiply these together? A 3 by 2 times a 3 by 2. These two numbers in here do not equal, so no, you cannot multiply them. Now, we'll even say, okay, could you add or subtract these, right? And the answer here, could you add or subtract? Question mark. And the answer here would be yes. And why could you add or subtract? Because your dimensions are equal. So just something to keep in mind. We always like to ask that. Okay, so how do you multiply? Everything you multiply again is going to go row by column. Okay, so when you do it row by column, I'm just going to jump right into it and kind of show you guys. Here's the first example. Okay, example 4. Now, before you write it down, I want to rewrite this because it'll be easier to rewrite this. This first matrix, let's first see if we can multiply it, right? So this dimension here is a 2 by 2, and the dimension here is a 2 by 2. So because the inner numbers are equal, yes, you can multiply them. So let's begin to multiply them. First, we'll name this matrix A and matrix B. First, you're going to take matrix A, and you're going to rewrite it. 2, 7, 1, negative 5. Then you're going to take matrix B, and you're going to write it up here. Negative 6, negative 2, 3, and negative 4. Now, the reason why I do this is because then what we're able to do is we're able to now use this and create kind of a building block for us. So I'm going to put dotted lines through the row on A, and I'm going to put dotted lines through the column of B. And what's nice is this is now setting up our answer. Okay. Now we're going to start multiplying. There's kind of a rhythm that we say. So it's first times the first plus second times the second. So let's write that down. First times the first plus second times the second. And let me show you how that goes. So in order to get this one right here, this top left, you're going to pull from here and you're going to pull from here. Okay, so see, we're pulling from the left and we're pulling from up above. So, all right. So let's go from our saying, right? First times the first. So first number times the first number. 2 times -6 plus second number times second number. 1 times -2. And then, okay, so that gets us, I'll do it over here, -12 minus 2, which is a -14. And again, that's in the top left-hand corner. Now, we'll do down here this bottom one, right? So where does the bottom left-hand corner pull from? Pulls from the left, which is the 7 and the 5, and the top, which is the -6 and the 2. So let me erase that so I have a little bit more room. Okay, here we go. So first times the first, 7 times -6, plus second times the second, -5 times -2. Okay, so this is -42 plus a 10, which gets you -32. Okay, so we've completed the first column, basically. So now let's go over here, to the top right. Okay, I'm right here at the top right. Okay, so the top right, we're going to pull from the top, right? If you think about it, top right, you're going to pull from the top right. So first times the first, 2 times 3, plus second times the second, 1 times -4. Okay, so that gets us 6 minus 4, which is 2. Now it's in the top right, so this goes up in the top right. All right, let's finish off the last one. This is bottom left, so you pull from bottom left. So first times the first, 7 times 3, plus second times the second, -5 times -4. So that gets you 21 plus 20, which gets you 41. And this is our answer. So this is going to take time and patience, but I know you guys can do it. Let's try the next problem. I'm going to try 5. Okay, so again, label it A and B. Just so I give myself some more room, I'm going to put A right here, 10, -7, -2, and 3. I'm going to put B over here, 1, 5, 4, and -2. All right, I'm going to draw my dotted lines through there. So dotted through the row and through the column, and it creates a nice matrix. Now my matrix is super extended out right now, but that's okay. Okay, so top left, right? Top left side. So again, you can even look at this as your elements, right? Right, this one is row 1, column 1. Okay, this position on here, top left, is row 1, column 1. So you pull from row 1 on A and column 1 from B. So here we go. First times the first, 10 times 1, plus second times the second, -2 times 5. Okay, so 10 plus a -10 is 0. We'll go to the right this time. You can go at whatever rep scheme you want. So this right is row 1, column 2, right? row 1, column 2. So first times the first, 10 times 4 plus -2 times -2. So that's 40 plus 4, which is 44. Next, we'll go to the bottom left. So bottom, -7 and 3, left 1 and 5. So first times the first plus second times the second. That is a -7 plus 15, which gets me 8. And last but not least, we're going to do bottom right. Again, that's row 2, column 2. Bottom right, so first times the first, -7 times 4, plus 3 times -2. This gets you a -28. So -28 minus 6 is a -34. Okay, let's look at one like number 6. That might be a little bit different, right? So could we multiply these together? Remember, that's always the first thing you need to check. So for number 6, there's 1 row by 2 columns. And the right side, again, A, B, matrix B is a 2 by 2. So because these are equal, yes, we can multiply them together. So let's create that matrix, 9 and -2. And then up here on top, -2, 6, 4, and -7. Now, when we go to make our dotted lines, right? For the 9 and -2, there's no dotted line there. The only dotted line we have is the column from matrix B, because we only have to run the row one time. So we set it up like that, and then we run the row. Again, first times the first, 9 times -2, plus -2 times 6. So that's -18. Oh, wait, let me set up my answer. Sorry. Okay, so -18 minus 12 is a -30. Again, row 1, column 1. So it goes right here in the position. And then lastly, let's do row 1, column 2, right? Row 1, column 2. So first times the first, 9 times 4, plus second times the second, -2 times 7. All right, so let's see, that's 36 minus 14, which gets you 22. And there's my answer. Okay, 2 more. I'm going to first hop down to number 8. Okay, remember I always said check your dimensions first. So number 8, we have 2 rows by 1, 2, 3 columns. And then this matrix on this side is a 2 by 2. So if you check the center numbers, they do not equal. Therefore, you cannot multiply them. We call this undefined. Okay. All right, let's go to the one above this, because I've always liked this one. I find that my students don't usually like this problem, so I'll do it for you guys now. -1, -10, and 1. Okay, here we go. Let's draw those dotted lines. So I have a dotted line between the -9 and 6, and then I actually have 2 dotted lines between the -1 and -10, and then the -10 and 1. Let's create our matrix. Again, if you're always curious to see what your answer is going to be, right, check those dimensions. This is 2 rows by 1 column, and this is 1 column. I'm sorry, 1 row by 3 columns. So the dimension of our answer is going to be a 2 by 3. right? So let's keep that in mind. Over here, my answer should be a 2 by 3, dimension of 2 by 3. Okay, this one should be fairly easy, but it looks confusing. So first number times first number, that's all you have. All you have is -9 times -1. I don't have any other number that goes in this row and column. So my answer is 9. Okay, next I'm going to pull -9 times -10. So -9 times -10, 90. Okay, -9 times 1, -9. Bottom, so bottom number 6 times each one of those. 6 times -1. Sorry, that should be a positive 6. So -6. 6 times -10, -60. And last but not least, 6 times 1, 6. So this is my answer. Let's check to see if my dimensions were right? We can check your dimensions. So how many rows? There's 1, 2 rows. But how many columns? 1, 2, 3. So we're right on the dimensions too. All right, this is 3.6 for you guys. Enjoy.